I mean, there's so many whys of, and so many ways that I could approach the why we chose to go the homeschool route. But the thing, he was like in first grade, and I noticed that there was something happening with him where he was just unhappy. You know, he just was not his normal, chipper, incredible self. But what happened with Sage was he started coming away with the idea that he was acting out, which then brought in this concept that I'm not a good person, which he said one day. I'm not a good person, I don't like myself, I'm always bad, I'm always getting in trouble. And that big shining bright spark of a light that he had, it just started diminishing. So I started really questioning if that was the environment that he needed to be in. I'm Khadijah Tudor. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I'm a massage therapist and a mother of 5 children, blended family of about 8. Over the summer, I was getting like anxiety attacks, me personally, about setting him back. And he wasn't looking forward to it. And I guess we were feeding off of each other on some levels. So we put him into a small private school for like a month. And whatever had went on in first grade had created this thought process in his mind that he needed to live down to a certain type of behavior. So that same behavior that he was exhibiting in school started showing up in the private school, although it was a smaller setting. So we had a meeting with the principal of that school and his father and I, and we were like, well, what are we going to do? What's the next step? And she said, you know, Khadijah, you can homeschool. And I said, I can't homeschool. I mean, I don't even know how to homeschool. I'm going to do that and I'm going to make a living. You know, I have all these children. I have bills. I have a new business I'm developing. I can't, you know. And I remember crying, you know, and like, you know, whatever you can do, just help me out because I don't want to take him out of school and then I have to do it because I really don't know how to do this. And that was like a Friday. And it was in the beginning of September last year. And she said, all right, we'll work with you. We'll figure something out. I don't have a big first grade class, but I could put him into another class and he could stay with that teacher because he needs more attention. I was like, okay, great, I'm off the hook. So I remember leaving the school and Sage was sitting at his desk, but his head was down. And I was like, oh man, why does he have his head down? She's going to leave him alone. At least he's not, you know, walking around. And I was like, what? And I remember getting in the car with Ade, his dad, and we left him because we were going to pick him up in the afternoon. And I cried. I mean, I was bawling, right? Now they couldn't understand what I was crying so hard for. He's like, you know, we just got to do what we got to do. It's no problem. We're going to fix this. You know, he just needs, you know, attention, this and that. And I'm like, somehow my child has got into his head that he's not enough, you know, or he's bad, or he can't learn. I move on, and between Friday of that evening to Sunday, I had to make a decision if I wanted to send him back to this school and put him in first grade again as opposed to being in the second grade. And he said one thing to me, he said, but I didn't do anything wrong. Why do I have to go back to second grade? I mean, to first grade. And I was like, you know what? You didn't do anything wrong. You just need someone to really pay attention to you. And who's the best person to pay attention to you is your mom. Day one started with Sage getting up at his normal time. Actually, he got up extra early. He got up like around 5 o'clock. Normally he would wake up, I don't know, let's say 6:30, 7 o'clock, and move right through the day. We both jumped up out of the bed because we were going to homeschool and we were going to get it done. And neither one of us knew what was going to go on. And we went to have breakfast in the kitchen, right in here. And we started making pancakes. So I'm like, okay, well, I got to teach you math. So I did the thing that everyone does. They teach math through cooking. I mean, it's like the easiest thing to do. So we made pancakes that week like it was going out of style. You know, just like doing cup measurements with pancakes and breaking it in half and doing fractions. And to the point where his older sister was coming in, getting ready to go to her school because she's in college. And she was just like sick of eating pancakes. She's like, Mom, we gonna buy pancakes for you. She's like, really? We're still doing pancakes? But it was our lesson plan. You know, he would write out measurements and ingredients and so forth, and start the day that way. I came from a West Indian background, South America, really, Guyana, and I went to school in Guyana for a couple of years. It was very structured. My mother was a teacher in Guyana, and education, big part of our life, huge part of our life. His dad really holds education as a, you know, just a really important foundation for all of the children. So for me to just thumb my nose at public school or the educational process, I didn't have it in me. So I was kind of lost as to what to do. He was really reluctant at first, like, oh, I don't want to do this, I want to play video games, or can we go outside and play, or I'm bored, or, you know, it was rough, you know, for both he and I in the beginning. I mean, I remember like 2 months into it, I was in the bathroom and he was walking past, I'm standing in the mirror looking at myself going, the hell did you do? You know, like, I still take him back to the other school he was at, and I'm crying, I'm like bawling, like, oh shit, you know, I'm not getting this done. It's not happening the way I want it to happen. And he was just walking past the bathroom. He kind of looked at me and he's like, are you crying? And I said, yeah, I'm crying. He said, okay. Walked past, he went to the bedroom to tell us that, like, you know, mommy's crying in the bathroom. And I came into the bedroom and he said, why are you crying, mommy? And I said, because I think I'm not doing a good job for you. I think I'm not doing the right thing for you by homeschooling. And he goes, you worried about me? I said, yeah, I'm worried about you. He said, oh, I'm doing great. I was looking at him like, what? You're doing great. You know, I feel like you're not reading enough. You don't want to do the schoolwork. I'm not sure what I'm teaching you. And he's like, no, I'm doing great. This is fun. I just looked at him. I said, all right. I mean, that's okay. We'll go with that. You know, I had to trust that we were going to be okay. Because I had no clue, nor did I have any kind of, any proof that it was going to work for us. You know, it was really just having to believe that I love this kid enough to figure out a way for this thing to work.